Humidity, the high temperature in the mid to upper 70s. Mostly clear overnight, 50 to 55, light north winds. Thursday should be mostly sunny in the mid 70s, and Friday partly to mostly sunny skies, a little bit warmer, highs near 80. And it'll be near 80 over the weekend with sunshine in the forecast. Educating, entertaining, and empowering Jonesboro, we're KLEK 102.5 FM.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. France says it has reports of significant flooding and damage to several Caribbean islands as Hurricane Irma batters the region. A complaint by Hungary and Slovakia over the EU forcing member states to take in asylum seekers has been dismissed by the EU's top court. Aung San Suu Kyi says her government's protecting everyone in Rakhine State in Myanmar. And UK Prime Minister Theresa May is urging the EU to move quickly to trade talks.
It's 9:01.
Community Conversations is brought to you by Arkansas Early Learning, offering no-cost childcare in Jonesboro and Northeast Arkansas. Applications at arearlylearning.org.
Arkansas Early Learning is a nonprofit organization.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
KLEK 102.5 FM, good morning to you on your Wednesday. It's September 6, 2017. This is Community Conversations. Kato Wonder is in the studio with you. I'm joined by Miss Quabila Jones, and we're also joined by Sergeant Cassandra Brandon, who is the Community Relations Officer for the Jonesboro Police Department, and we're also joined by Corporal Dave McDaniel, who is the new Public Relations Specialist for the Jonesboro Police Department. Corporal McDaniel took over for Mr. Paul Holmes, who recently retired, and so we're going to just kind of talk today with both of these people, and especially to Officer McDaniel, just to kind of get his thoughts on the job that he's doing so far and what we can expect from him. So how are you all doing today?
Great.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so we'll start with you since you are the new man on the job. So just first tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and your background as a police officer.
Well, I was born and raised in Jonesboro. I've been with the Jonesboro Police Department about 20 years. The majority of that time was as a patrol officer. I did spend some time as a detective, about 4 years. That was in 2007 is when I started doing that. I focused toward the end of my patrol career mostly on training issues, trying to help out, train the younger guys and how they interact with the public and how they do their job safely, and to try to prepare them for what they're getting into for a long-time career.
Okay. All right. So we talked a little bit off air that you've been with the department for 20 years? Right?
About 20 years, yes.
Wow. So what made you decide at whatever age you were this is what I want to do?
Well, actually, I started out as a 911 dispatcher.
Okay.
I was running a forklift in a warehouse, and I saw an ad that they were hiring, and believe it or not, it was a substantial raise from what I was doing.
Okay.
So I had an interest in it, and I applied for it, and I spent about a year doing that and got to know the police officers. Had no experience with law enforcement, just kind of got drawn into the family atmosphere and made some really good friends, and then they started testing and I started getting pressure like, I think you'd be good at this job, you should apply.
Okay.
And fell in love with it.
That is really awesome. So we're grateful to have you on the force now. Now you made a transition, so tell us a little more about what your new role will entail.
And before you get into that, kind of talk about what made you decide to transition from patrol to being the public information specialist.
To be brutally honest with you, I felt like I was getting too old to work the streets. I started getting ailments. There's, a lot of your veteran officers would tell you wearing that gear for decades around your waist.
How much does it weigh?
About 30 pounds. And it starts hurting your hips, it starts hurting your lower back, you start having to get in and out of the car. My left knee was hurting from, you step out of the car and you pivot on that foot to take off running or whatever. Age had something to do with it. It's a rough job. It can be. It's not always.
Have you had to engage in a lot of chases, on foot chases?
Absolutely. I mean, you do that job for 20 years, or well, not counting the 4 years as a detective, so 16 years it was. But I noticed I would get sore for longer periods of time after running and stuff like that, and and I have children.
Okay.
And the current media climate tends to show a lot more of the violent encounters that we deal with. It's always been there, but for some reason it seems to be in a spotlight now.
Yes, sir.
And I think that this was a good opportunity to, sit in the air conditioning. And when it's raining, I'm inside. It's not a bad job so far. So.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about some of your job duties.
Okay. I'm still learning. It's only been a week.
Okay.
And it's a big departure from what I'm used to.
Okay.
But so far, it's been a very positive experience. I've had great interactions with community that's involved in the department. The Citizen Police Academy, the ambassador group for that group is amazing people so far. It's been a positive interaction, which wasn't always true when you worked the street.
Okay.
You do have great experiences as a patrol officer that, I've met people that come to me, they've sought me out later and thanked me for a way that I, influenced their life and maybe help steer them on a better path. But that's kind of rare, so it's, in this position you have more of an opportunity to actually have your voice heard in a positive way instead of, one syllable commands like stop and don't,
All right, so you will be I know we've had Mr. Paul on before. He's the person that you replaced because he retired. Hi, Mr. Paul, if you're out there listening.
He's enjoying the grandkids.
So I'm sure he left some big shoes to fill, but I'm pretty sure he left you with a lot of good instructions on how to carry out the role.
No.
Yeah, and we actually mentioned off there, and this gives opportunity to bring in Sergeant Brandon. She says she's been kind of helping Corporal McDaniel on the way. So, Sergeant Brandon, kind of explain, because now you all are, for those of you that don't know, in the Jonesboro Police Department, Paul's old office now, Corporal McDaniel's office, and Sergeant Brandon's office are right next to each other. So
we actually share an office. We're in the same room.
Okay, so
yeah, looking at each other all day long. So we're getting used to that.
So, kind of tell us about your experiences with helping him get up to speed.
Yeah, so go back in history just a little bit. When Chief Elliott took over, I would say it was probably fair to say that maybe we didn't have the best relationship at the police department with the media and with different segments of our community. Okay. So I think that was one of the things that Chief Elliott wanted to improve on and has worked hard doing. And so he brought Paul Holmes in, who his background was actually in the media. He was a newspaperman for most of his career. He also worked for KIT. And so Paul really helped to improve that relationship with the media, and I think he did a really good job of it. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And so we were kind of spoiled actually with the relationship now that we have with the media and dealing with them because, like I said, I think that it's improved. Our communication with them has improved a lot. So as far as learning how to kind of navigate them and everything, Paul really laid a good foundation for us on that. So, everything else, there's the day in and day out duties that have to be done as far as getting reports out and that sort of stuff. And that's one of the things that Dave is working on is getting those reports out. And so that's, just how we do that, what information we can release, what information we can't release, because there's some things that we just can't put out there on the front end. So that's my job right now, is to kind of just teach him the more technical aspects of the job and make sure he has a good grasp on that. And being a police officer for 20 years, if you don't know how to talk to people, then you should have left a long time ago. Yes. So he's got that down as far as how to communicate and get our message across. So he's ahead of the curve there.
Once again, we are speaking with Sergeant Cassie Brandon and Corporal Dave McDaniel of the Jonesboro Police Department. If you have a call for either one of them, you can call us at 870-277-1080. That number is 870-277-1080. Or you can leave a question or a comment on our Facebook live stream. And we have a couple Facebook shout-outs. Shout out to Asan, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, Lester, and Cora Evans Hester. So we got Lester and Hester on our Facebook live feed.
Is Cora watching?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Cora.
Well, you know, Cora's well, actually right now, we're on the wide camera right now.
Oh, okay.
It's got the whole room. But Cora, as well as myself, are, graduates of the Citizens Police Academy, and it's definitely a great program. Something that was actually a part of your brainchild that has been a great asset to the community.
How long has that program been in play?
We started 2015.
Okay.
We do 2 classes a year. We just started our 6th session.
Okay.
Actually last Thursday was the first night. We have 30 students in the class. And I think it's going to be a good class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Corporal Dave, have you ever sat in on a CPA class?
I actually taught in the first session a patrol tactics class.
Okay.
And really enjoyed it. In my opinion, it was a great interaction and a lot of fun.
Okay.
So I imagine you'll probably have a lot more involvement directly with CPA in your new position, because I know when I was in session 2, I know that Sergeant Brandon was there every night working with us. So will you be doing that for this current session and sessions going forward?
It appears so.
Yeah.
It appears.
And I hate to keep mentioning Paul, but that's kind of what we're working off of here. He was kind of my right hand when it came to those types of things. So we definitely want Corporal McDaniel to be involved in those things as well, as much as his schedule will allow him.
And of course, another thing that Paul did, Paul always had that camera taking pictures. So did Paul leave you the camera behind?
Yeah, it's on the shelf.
So you're gonna have to get your eye, find your eye.
I opened the bag and there's all kinds of stuff in there, like specialized lenses and stuff. So I'll have to learn a little bit about it.
Oh my goodness! I'm sure. Do you have any children or grandchildren at home that love electronics?
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm sure they'll be happy to help you out. learn all the
I'm sure there's
bells and whistles.
some other officers that probably have a love for photography that could help you out as well.
Yeah.
We have another Facebook shout out to John Harden, and we also have a comment. So let's see what we got here. And this comes from Cora. Cora says, "Hello, Cassie. Great job."
Thanks. Appreciate that.
And we love to hear from people that have been through the CPA classes. That just shows that they have made an impact on the citizens that have gone through, and we really try to encourage anyone else to go through. One day I'll do the class.
You should.
I'm trying to finish my degree first, so once I get through with that, then I'll.
I'm always impressed by the people that come in. They're a lot of them are professionals with busy lives. They have kids who are involved in different activities. Yet it's important enough to them that they find the time to carve out. And you learn about police work and you learn about the Jonesboro Police Department, but I think you also learn a lot about your community and the people in your community, and just the investment that people put into the class is always I'm just really impressed by that.
And I think it really helps to, like you said, really connect the people with the community and the police department. They get to see almost firsthand what you do, how you interact, and why your job is so vital to the community. So then they have, I hope they walk away with a deeper appreciation for what you do, the tireless hours you spend patrolling and keeping us safe. So.
And I hope so. I think that's one of the aims of the class is to, not everybody likes the police. That's a fact, and that's fine. But I want, my personal goal is, even if people have, maybe not the most positive thoughts about the police, I hope that we can change their mind. But if we don't, at least they're informed.
Okay.
When they leave the class, I hope. So yeah, definitely we want to change some of those perceptions that we see as they're not necessarily rooted in reality.
Okay.
But sometimes I feel like we've been pretty successful there. I think maybe not all the time have we been, but again, at least people walk away informed You know, even
Well, I definitely walked away informed. Not that I had a bad perception going in, but it was definitely unique to see some of the inner workings, especially doing the ride along. I always talk about the ride along being my favorite part of it, to actually see all of this stuff in action, and definitely will give you a different look again, like Sergeant Brandon says. Even if it doesn't change how you personally feel. Of course, I'll be honest with you. I still don't want to be on the receiving end of a traffic stop, but but I definitely do have a greater appreciation for what police do.
Yeah, good.
Right. So, and kind of switching up a little bit, Sergeant Cassie, you've been very busy in the community, and I haven't got to meet you, but I've heard so much about all the work that you've done on the different programs that you've helped to coordinate for the community, because you have a passion for, once again, connecting the people with the police department. So, do you have anything coming up that you're personally involved in?
Well, our big project obviously is the Citizen Police Academy, which we already talked about. We do have an Explorer program, and that's for kids ages 14 to 20 who are actually interested in a career in law enforcement. And basically, there is an application process, but if you're accepted into the program, then we'll kind of show you how the police department works, what you can expect as a police officer, try to put them through some of the same training that we do, and really help them make up their mind if this is really what they want to do, or maybe it's not what they thought it was, and they can focus on a different career path. So that's something else that we're involved in. We're always going around to, I did a talk at a church last night. We're always going around to schools, churches, connecting with different people in the community. The department is about to be involved in a project with the Special Olympics. I think it's called a truck pull, maybe? Fire truck pull.
Let me pull it up here.
I think I've seen that on social media, because it was looking for teams.
Right. And it's a fundraiser for the Special Olympics.
I think if you look on Jeff Presley's page, I think you'll find the flyer for that.
Let's see what we said here about it. I'm actually probably not going to be on a team because I don't want to injure myself.
Okay.
But the police department will have a team there. This is going to be during the barbecue festival, and we're actually still looking for, it looks like we're looking for other people to create teams. So if anybody's interested in it, there is some information on our Facebook page, or they can feel free to contact me, and I can give them more information. Even if they can't bring together a whole team, they can still participate as an individual. So,
and I'll make sure to share it on our Instagram
and the police department is really involved with Special Olympics, especially the law enforcement torch run aspect of it. And so we do things every year, actually several different times a year with the Special Olympics athletes, and a lot of officers get involved in that, really enjoy it.
And of course, there's always the famous picture of Officer Jefferson with the torch with the young girl.
Yeah, that's our profile picture right now on our Facebook page. That's actually a Special Olympics event, and so we have a lot of fun with that. I can't think of anything else specifically, but I would say people follow our Facebook page.
Well, one event that is the gun take back.
Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me. See? Over my head. We are doing a gun take back event on September 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and it's at different locations throughout town each day. And the idea is we are experiencing some gun violence in town, and there are people who maybe have guns laying around that maybe they don't want. They don't really know what else to do with them. We'll take them off their hands, and we'll exchange a $50 gift card for them.
Now, what kind of gift card is it? Just a Visa debit card, or is it to any particular stores around town?
We have several different ones. I think we have some Target cards, Walmart, maybe some gas cards, grocery cards. We have several different to choose from, and so it would be, I imagine that we'll give whoever's turning in a choice, as long as
first come, first serve,
yeah. Right. And then there's also the maybe people that have guns that aren't supposed to have guns, or have guns that they probably came across them in ways that maybe weren't above board. So it's no questions asked. This is not a ruse to arrest people, to charge somebody with a gun crime or anything like that. Our goal is to get guns off the street that are in the wrong hands right now.
Because I think that, from just comments I've seen on social media, that seems to be the big concern is, are they going to take and run the serial number, and then if the gun is stolen, police going to knock on my door saying, hey, what's up with this?
No, I mean, we're not taking names. We're not going to be keeping track of who turns in what gun. We will actually run the serial numbers on the guns. If it's stolen, we'll return it to its rightful owner. Any other guns, then we will destroy. We're not going to auction them. We're not going to turn around and sell them or anything like that. They'll be destroyed upon a court order. We can't make that decision on our own. A judge has to tell us we can. But once we get that order, then we'll destroy them. But again, we're not asking anybody their name, their address. We're not nothing like that. We just want these guns off the street, and that's the point behind the project.
I've seen when K8 made the post, there was some concerns about, there was a lot of negative comments, but that's just human nature, I guess.
Yeah, people were like, well, why should I give up a $300 gun for a $50 gift card? Or, only like I said, no law-abiding citizen in their right mind would give up a gun, and the criminals aren't going to as well. So, I mean, how do you respond to that?
I can understand the skepticism. We hope that, we don't want a gun that someone has purchased in a legal manner, and that they have the gun either for self-defense, protection, or for sport, or whatever reason they have the gun. That's not what we're after. We're after guns that are in the wrong hands. People that have them, maybe they don't really know how to get rid of them. And that's what we're looking for. This isn't an assault on the Second Amendment or anything like that. It's truly an outreach effort by the police department, but actually the idea did not come from the police department. It came from a community member who witnessed the violence that happened at the basement. And that person approached us at the department and asked if we could work with them on this project.
All right, and we're going to leave it there. We are speaking with Corporal Dave McDaniel and Sergeant Cassandra Brandon of the Jonesboro Police Department. Of course, phone lines are still open at 870-277-1080, or you can leave your questions and your comments on our Facebook live feed. Don't go anywhere. This is Community Conversations, and this is KLEK 102.5 FM.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Do you control your emotions, or do your emotions control you? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. Emotions are so powerful that at times they seem to overwhelm us. Emotions like jealousy, anger, fear, worry, and grief can put us on a reactionary path. But you don't have to be controlled by your emotions. These important tips may help. First, be the boss of your thoughts. Emotions certainly affect your thoughts, but your thoughts can also guide your emotions. Try to look at an emotional decision or situation with someone who can help you think objectively. Often, the realities of objective thoughts can lessen the blow of those intense emotions. For more tips on handling negative emotions, visit my blog at markmerrill.com. Remember, your family first.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a non-profit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook and KNOMEGA1908.com.
Attention members and guests, the Jonesboro Alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated presents Animal Instinct, the post-game party, Saturday, September 16th after the A-State UAPB football game at Legends Barbecue Smokehouse, 1025 West Johnson Avenue in Jonesboro, from 9 o'clock p.m. until 1 o'clock a.m. This is a 21 and up event. A portion of the proceeds will benefit the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. More information is available via any member of the Jonesboro Alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated.
When life takes a wrong turn, what do you do? When things are looking at their worst, who do you turn to? KLEK 102.5 FM and Massey Productions presents the inspirational gospel stage play, To Hell and Back, a story that will inspire you, renew and reaffirm your faith. featuring performers from all over Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana. One big show, 12 noon, Saturday, September 16th, at the Epic Center, 1899 County Road 333, Hasbrook Road in Jonesboro. Tickets are $10 in advance, $15 at the door, and can be purchased at KLEK, Cool Cuts, the Epic Center, or by calling 870-277-1080. Bring the entire family Saturday, September 16th, before the A-State UAPB game, to the Epic Center to see the inspirational gospel stage play, To Hell and Back.
This event is a KLEK fundraiser.
Support for KLEK is brought to you by
Fullness of Joy Ministries, 2120 Thorn Street, Jonesboro, under the direction of Bishop Adrian Rogers and co-pastor Susan Rogers. www.fjministries.org.
Did you know KLEK has a brand new streaming app? That's right, you can listen to KLEK 102.5 FM anywhere in the world. The app is available for all Android phones and tablets, as well as iPhones and iPads. Just search your app store for KLEK and download the KLEK app for free today. And don't miss a beat of the education, entertainment, and empowerment on KLEK 102.5 FM.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM with our guests, Corporal Dave McDaniel and Sergeant Cassandra Brandon of the Jonesboro Police Department. Sergeant Brandon is the Community Relations Officer for the department, and Corporal McDaniel is the Public Relations Specialist. And we're just kind of talking about their jobs, as well as talking about different things that the Jonesboro Police Department has going on. Of course, if you have a question or a comment for either one, you can give us a call at 870-277-1080, or you can weigh in on our Facebook live feed. Before we went to break, we were talking about a couple of events going on. We talked about the fire truck pull, which I see Quabila has shared on our social media, and we also talked about the gun backpack program. JPD is currently getting ready to test for officers again, and the process is slightly different this time, and now the application is all online. So Sergeant Brandon, just kind of let the listener know about how that's going. And of course, tomorrow is the last day, so if you've been thinking about becoming an officer, you need to go to that website, jonesboropolice.com, and get that application in now. But I'll let Sergeant Brandon kind of elaborate on that some more.
Yeah, so we have updated our process. It's kind of been an ongoing update, but this time we're accepting applications online. The application itself can actually be found on the City of Jonesboro website, which is jonesboro.org, and there's a link on the page that says Employment Opportunities. Just go there, find the police officer posting. What happens is once we get an application, we'll do a preliminary background check, just make sure there's nothing that's going to automatically disqualify somebody, like no driver's license. Maybe they're not old enough. We get that occasionally.
Really try to apply under 21.
Well, I mean, I guess that could be encouraging. I mean, that they're interested. You just tell them, well, come back when you're 21.
Right, and we'll actually let them apply when they're 20, but they have to be within 90 days of their birth date. Okay. So, and I think that some people just kind of guess or whatever. So, but that's, we check for things like that, make sure they don't have any kind of felony criminal history that they've actually been convicted of. And once we're satisfied that there's none of that kind of stuff, then we'll move on to the next phase, which is actually a video test. We used to give a written test. And we've updated the test that we use, and it's video-based now. So there's 3 components. There's a writing component where they're showed a scenario and they have to write a report about what they see. And then there is a reading component. That part's actually not video-based. It's actual reading comprehension. And then the third part is a situational judgment type component. So we'll show them several different video scenarios, give them some options, and say, in this situation, what would you do? Okay. And so, we're looking for good situational judgment, common sense, in different aspects. And there are some materials out there where they can prepare for the test that's offered by the company that produces the test. So if they pass that, then we do a physical test, physical fitness assessment. It's not too difficult. It's pretty basic, but we need to make sure that recruits are at least a minimal level of physical fitness. It helps obviously with the job. More practical concern on the front end is the going through the academy, because there's a lot of physical fitness that comes along with that. If they pass that, then we move on to the actual thorough background investigation, and that it's pretty far-reaching. We go back to all previous employers. We may even talk to school teachers, neighbors, family, friends, exes. So yeah, we talk. We want to know. We want to know.
I'm sure that's been some interesting.
It is something, but I know I have a good candidate when an ex-wife or an ex-husband doesn't say anything bad about them.
Okay.
So that tells me something about them, and we do have that happen as well. So but we want to make sure we're hiring good people. And that's a big part of it, is their character and how they treat people whenever they're not looking for a job. So we want to go back as far as we can and talk to folks. We also check with police departments where they've lived or worked to make sure they haven't had any negative contact with them. Okay. And then once we get toward the end of the background investigation, we'll actually give them a polygraph exam to make sure that there's nothing that they haven't told us or that they're lying about.
Has anyone ever tried to manipulate the polygraph, from your experience?
Well, I'm not a polygraph examiner, so I can't really answer that question. It wouldn't surprise me.
Okay.
Just some people, try to.
We can ask Chief that next month, since he is a certified polygraph instructor.
Is it difficult?
Is it possible?
The polygraph?
I mean, not. I hope.
I think she says it's impossible to beat it.
I can imagine me trying to do it. I would get nervous because not that I'm lying, just I would get nervous just to make sure I'm saying the right thing.
Right. And in my understanding of a polygraph, again, I'm not certified. I've never been to training. My understanding is that nervousness really doesn't come into account, because the machine will kind of figure out your baseline physiological response.
Yeah, because I've read a little bit about it. And I know usually before they get into the heart of the matter, they'll kind of ask you some basic questions, and they'll kind of see how your brain responds to that. Like Sergeant Brandon says, the baseline, then they go into the meat of the matter. We don't want to leave out Corporal McDaniels, so we'll bring him back into the conversation. So what are some things that you are looking forward to, and some plans and ideas that you have for your position going forward?
Well, right now I'm still just trying to learn what it is I'm supposed to be doing. I'd like to get a firm grasp on that and be able to plan for the future after that.
Okay.
I will say this, the job's a lot more hectic than I thought it would be.
Really?
Yeah, there's...
But you don't have to run around and twist your belt like you said earlier.
Yeah. I mean, it's just different. When you're out on patrol, it's always having that focus of what's going on around you. It seems like it's still there, but now it's like I need to remember to call this person back, and I need to check on this report, and I need to respond to this email, and and I need to check on the Facebook page, and it's just a totally different kind of being busy.
Are you responsible for uploading and maintaining the Facebook page?
I think they're going to try to ease me into that, which is kind of funny, because during the interview process I was asked, if I'm familiar with social media, and no, I'm not.
Oh no!
Well, I know Paul and Cassie, were both active on. Cause for example, whenever someone from JPD comes on our show, it's shared on the JPD page, and I think the CPA page even shares it as well.
Yeah, I think I'll learn it pretty quickly. I just never have done it.
Okay. Well, get ready for Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Absolutely.
We were actually talking this morning. I said we need to up our game there a little bit.
Get your JPD Snapchat as well.
Oh Lord, we'll get there. But I'm Facebook. I Facebook. That's it. Okay. I have a Twitter, and so I was telling him, I'm like, we really need to up our game on Twitter, and he said, well, I don't know anything about Twitter. I'm like, well, I don't either. So we got to figure it out together.
It's basically a short, simple message. Something to get people's attention and draw them to your page. And
Paul is pretty active on Twitter. He can drop you some hints.
Now, is Twitter the one with the hashtags?
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, now they're used on all of them. But Twitter started it. But now hashtags are on Facebook and Instagram and the other platforms as well.
See, I'm showing my ignorance over here. I've got some things to learn.
That's all right. Luckily you live in a community that's very willing to help each other. That is one of the great things about the Jonesboro community. So I'm sure that there's definitely people that can help you in the department. You say you have children and relatives that can help you. And of course, if nothing else fails, go on to ASU campus. Those college students are social media savvy.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sure they would think they were on camera. It was some kind of joke.
Yes. So I was looking at the post that was made. It says, with help of the community outreach efforts of the department. So can you go into whatever you can share with us? Like, how have you started working on a strategic plan on how to reach out? How you personally will try to reach out more to the community?
Well, like I said, I've been doing this a week.
Okay.
So
I think that's a recurring thing. But so I think he wants to figure out what's going on, and then he can articulate his vision. So we're gonna bring him back in a few months once he's got it figured out.
So we'll stay on top of it.
Yeah.
We do have some Facebook shout outs. Shout out to Kevin A. Jones and Tracy Lane Snell. Appreciate you all for checking in on our Facebook live feed.
I know Tracy too. Hey Tracy, wherever you're at.
I want to go back a little bit. I know it's been a month since Chief has been here.
Oh, sorry, one more. And Stan Morris from NEA Reports says, good morning to Cassie and Dave. Thanks for your work. We appreciate you for checking in, Stan.
Awesome.
I see that you all have some new officers, and they were, I'm guessing, going through the final process the last time Chief was here. So talk a little bit about the new officers and where they are in their, I guess, field training. Or
Sure. So, and that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. So this particular group, I don't remember the exact date that they started. They've actually worked with us for a few months.
Okay.
Once an officer gets hired with us, the state of Arkansas mandates each officer has to go through 12 weeks of training.
Okay.
Academy training. And then they some field training to go along with that. So the state requirement is actually pretty low. We go above and beyond JPD. We give them 9 weeks of in-house training, and then we send them to the academy, which the academy we go to is actually 13 weeks.
Okay.
And then once they get out of the academy, they do 12 weeks of field training. And then if they need some remedial training or if there's something they're not getting, then we'll hold on to them a little bit longer, and we want to make sure they're good to go before they're actually out on the street by themselves. So this particular group that you're talking about, they just started the academy a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I believe. They've already kind of been through most of their in-house training. They'll have a little bit more once they get out of the academy.
Okay.
And then after that, they'll start their field training. One of the officers actually had already been through the academy in Florida, so she does not have to go through the academy here. So she did all the in-house training. She did a week-long school. The state calls it refresher training, but it's basically a week school to make sure that, they understand the differences between where they came from and kind of how we do things here in Arkansas. And then she'll also do the full 12-week field training program, and she should be starting that pretty soon.
Okay.
Now, does JPD still have the in-house police academy that you all use from time to time, or?
No, we prefer not. My understanding is we prefer not to do that unless we have to. The 2 times that we did, we were kind of in a crunch. We really needed to get those officers hired through their training, and we didn't sacrifice training. They still got the same amount of training. We could just hire them a little bit sooner and get them out on the street a little bit quicker because we were able to hire them sooner. Right now, we're actually doing pretty good. We don't have very many vacancies in the department. But you never know, someone may find a better job somewhere else or whatever. So that's why we do this continual hiring process where we try to keep a list of applicants who fit all of our qualifications, that when we get ready to hire, they're ready to go. We can hire them, we give them a call. Hey, can you start in 2 weeks or whatever, in a month, and they're good to go.
We have another Facebook comment from Kevin A. Jones who says, that sounds like very efficient training.
Good. I hope that's a good thing.
Well, I think it shows because, like you mentioned about how, you want to make sure that the interactions between the police officers and the public are as positive as possible. Again, nobody likes to be on the receiving end of a traffic stop, but, like how to properly talk to people, de-escalate situations, so that, at the end of the day, everybody can go home alive and, go on about their lives.
Yeah, and that's that is a big part of the training is and that a lot of that, because there's a lot of things that you can't teach in a classroom setting. we do our best. I actually at the academy, I'll be teaching there next week. I teach interpersonal communications, how to talk to people, how to maybe try to diffuse situations, and even how to kind of read people and maybe some of the clues that they're giving off to you. But it's really hard, and I think Dave can probably speak to this because he was a field training officer, but I think it's really hard to actually teach that until you're out in the field and you're seeing it.
Right. And humans, no matter how much you train, you have emotions and you have, physiological responses to stress, and you get tunnel vision and something called auditory exclusion where maybe you won't hear something. And it's your body's response to stress, and it's hard to teach that to somebody that just have to experience under the circumstances, and hopefully they get a firm grasp of it, and then you learn to think your way through it.
Okay. With the rise in technology, I know you all have had experience with the 3D glasses and different devices.
Like virtual reality?
Yeah, virtual reality. Mm-hmm. As it increases in popularity, do you foresee the police department adopting this as a little part of the training to try to give the officers or new recruits not as a big portion, but just a little bit of a...
I don't see why we wouldn't be open to training ideas and things that may work a little better than how we've done it before. But I'd like to reiterate that it just doesn't... it's kind of like the Facebook era we live in, or if you make a phone call to a customer service rep, it's so easy to yell into that phone and hang it up. Mm-hmm. But if you were to stand face to face with that person, maybe you wouldn't say those certain things. Okay. So that human interaction is vital in training. You have to have that because that makes it real, and the stress is real, and the danger is real. Okay. So like I said, it's easy to spew toxic comments on Facebook about a program that's really inspired from within the community, that's just trying to do something good and positive. That maybe you wouldn't say that to that lady's face if she was in the room. That's right.
And not just with that post, but many other posts that seem to go against what the majority of the community believe in. Mm-hmm. The comments are just nasty.
Mm-hmm. I think you can apply it to just about anything now.
Yeah.
And I would love to see us as a community. I know that, like you said, we were face to face. We wouldn't dare say those things to each other. But
and here's the challenge that I have for particularly the gun buyback event, for the people that don't think that's a great idea. Throw us some ideas. Because like he said, this one came from the community, and we've never done it. We don't know what kind of turnout we're going to have. It may not be that successful, but if it is, or even if it's not, but we get one or two guns, then hopefully that's made a difference. But for these people that think that's not a good idea, I appreciate the feedback, and we ask for feedback because we do work for the community. But give us some ideas.
We live here too. We want it to be a nice place to live as well.
That's right. I have a child that, I say child, he's in that in between. Anyway, my child is growing up and is going to be hopefully a vital member of the community, and I want to see him continue to whatever age in life, without the fear of someone's going to physically harm him simply because they don't have any value for human life. So.
One thing I'd like to address, it seemed to be a common thread in some of those comments, was the spending of taxpayer money. Correct me if I'm wrong, but all these $50 gift cards are donations. The department's not spending any money.
So you heard that somebody thought you all were spending your own money on the cards?
Yeah, spending the taxpayers' money on the cards. The only thing it'll cost the taxpayers the salary for the officers that are going to be out there working the event.
Which they would have been working it. So if they weren't doing that, they'd be doing something else.
Right. We're not spending any money, like he said, on the gift cards or any other of the resources that it's going to take to put this on. I think that at one point there was some discussion maybe having like a cookout to go along with this, even if, like I said, even if we don't get that many guns, if we can use it as an opportunity to reach out to the community and work together with them, then it's a success in my book. But all that stuff, as far as I'm aware, is donated, and we're not spending any money on it.
I would love to see the community, and I say this over and over and over. We as a community need to start being neighbors again. Get to know who you live with around. across town from work with, whatever. I would love to see us truly connecting. And the police officers are just another entity of the community, and can be a very vital resource to connect with if people kind of get outside of themselves. Yes, I've had my interactions with the police in the past, but
me too.
That didn't tarnish my view for life. I mean, because a lot of it was my fault.
I did have a question getting back to the gun buyback. It's not just limited to handguns, rifles, shotguns, assault rifles.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think we're looking for BB guns.
Okay. Well, maybe not BB
or
guns,
airsoft guns, but I think any kind of any kind of gun that could be used to substantially hurt somebody is what we're looking for.
Yeah, because if I still had my dad's or rusty shotgun, I might. But Ben got rid of that though.
I don't remember who said it, and if you're the one that said it to me, you can let me know. But I heard a quote right before I put in for this job to be the public relations officer is, if you take the time to go meet your neighbor and get to know them, you'll find the world's not as hostile as some of the media makes it out to be. And I think that I like to make that like the foundation of what I'm doing. This is just all about making it a better town.
And that's why we wanted you to come on the show today. We wanted to introduce you to our listeners so that they would know who you are and let them know that you are a resource. So in about the 10 seconds plus the 30 before we actually go to break, Corporal McDaniel, you could just let the listeners know how they can get in touch with you if they want to express a comment or a concern to you. I'm sure that your door is open. Give him a little bit of time, though. He still got to figure a couple things out. But once he gets it figured out, he would love to talk to you. So let him know how they can get in touch with you.
The easiest way is my email. It's dmcdaniel@jonesboro.org. If you'll send me an email, I'll respond pretty quick to that. My phone is at the office. You can call the main police department. It's 935-5562, and I'll transfer you to me. I prefer email.
All right, we're going to have to leave that. We'll be back. This is
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. A new study by Finder.com found that Americans are overusing credit cards on vacations, and it's costing them $2.7 billion in interest fees. With that in mind, here are some tips that may help you to avoid the financial pitfalls that come with vacation debt. Set a vacation budget. Pay your bills before you go. Nothing can ruin a vacation more than coming home to late fees and bills that you can't afford to pay because you splurged while you were away. Notify your credit card companies. Many lenders will not honor purchases made in locations they feel are outside of your usual profile. You don't want to use your card to pay for a meal or enjoy an experience and then find out the purchases have been declined. Also, be sure to notify your credit card company once you return home. Vacations are meant to restore, rejuvenate, and enjoy. Don't let money problems take away the many benefits that a vacation can bring to you and your family. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to uncompromising commitment to communities, service, leadership, empowerment. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. 5 locations in Jonesboro to serve you. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
KLEK thanks CJ Pepper and the staff of Life Strategies Counseling Incorporated for helping people through hard times in life such as depression, family issues, stress, abuse, and more. They offer counseling and therapy for all ages, individuals, families, and groups. They are located at 1217 Stone Street. Phone number 1-866-972-1268 or online at lscihelp.com.
The McDaniel Law Firm, 400 South Main Street in Jonesboro, is a firm believer in justice and equality for the minority community. The McDaniel Law Firm has fought for our rights for over 44 years. The McDaniel Law Firm offers legal help for wrongful death as well as trucking and automobile accidents. Bobby and Brett McDaniel are available for a free consultation at 870-336-4747 or at www.mcdaniellawyers.com.
Arkansas Early Learning prepares children up to 5 years old for kindergarten by offering a secure learning environment, qualified teachers at several locations in Northeast Arkansas at no cost. Applications are available at arearlylearning.org.
Arkansas Early Learning is a nonprofit organization.
Hello, I'm Officer Jonathan Higgins of the Jonesboro Police Department. One of the best decisions I ever made was to join the Jonesboro Police Department. Since joining, I've had the pleasure to give back, protect, and serve my community. Now I want to let you know about that same opportunity. The Jonesboro Police Department will conduct testing for the patrol officers at the Valley View High School. Applications are available online at jonesboropolice.com. The Jonesboro Police Department offers a competitive salary, health, and retirement benefits, top-of-the-line training, and most importantly, the chance to make a difference in the Jonesboro community. Join me in making Jonesboro a better place. The Jonesboro Police Department is an equal opportunity employer, and women and minorities are especially encouraged to apply. More information, 870-935-5657.
Applications are being accepted through September 7th, 2017. Applications are available at jonesboropolice.com. Do you like the music you hear on KLEK 102.5 FM? Do you like the educational programming that we provide? Do you like the service we provide to the community? Do you like having a station to finally call your own that represents you? If so, please stop by or call any of our underwriters or sponsors that you hear on KLEK and tell them thank you for their support. The support of our underwriters and sponsors is vital for us to stay on the air. So be sure to let them know that you thank them for their support.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
And we're back on Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM with our guest, Sergeant Cassandra Brandon, who is the Community Relations Officer for the Jonesboro Police Department, along with Corporal Dave McDaniel, who is the new Public Relations Specialist for the Jonesboro Police Department. And before we went to break, Corporal McDaniel was letting people know how they could get in touch with him, but we kind of hit up against the break, so we had to cut him off. So we want to give him the opportunity once again for those who may not have caught it to get that information on how they can get in touch with you.
Yeah, my preferred method is through email. Like I said earlier, I've been here 20 years. I'm getting some gray hairs, and I tend to forget face-to-face conversations. So it's nice to have it in writing because I do get numerous requests throughout the day, so it's hard to keep track of everything. But the email, again, is dmcdaniel@jonesboro.org. I do have an office phone, and I can be reached by contacting the main line at the police department, 935-5562, and they can transfer you to my voicemail if I'm not there.
Alrighty. Well, we thank you for that information. We'll make sure to post it on our different social media pages. I do want to give a shout out to our community as a whole. We've talked about, the roles that you all will play. And Sergeant Cassie is known for being out and about, hands-on in the community, but there are times when the community gives back to you. And we see some various pictures on your Facebook page. They bring you all kinds of goodies every now and then. And then one family even cooked for the third shift officers. So tell us about, how does it make you feel when people unexpectedly show up at the office, show up at the station with baskets and boxes of goodies?
It's a dual-edged sword, You love being thought of, and you love the fact that people are concerned for you and want to show an act of kindness, but it's hard not to eat cookies. I want to give a shout out to United Methodist Church. I see they donated some bags of cookies. Nice group of folks.
And that picture on our Facebook page was actually my bag of cookies.
Okay.
And immediately after he took that picture, I ate all 5 of them. They were really good. They were really good.
Yeah, who doesn't like homemade cookies?
I know, right?
And it never fails. Something happens in the national media with police, or an officer is killed in the line of duty or something like that. Someone's going to be reaching out to us and showing their support, and that means the world. Unfortunately, a lot of that stuff does come in during the daytime, and the third shift guys kind of miss out on some of it. So it's awfully thoughtful of people that go out of their way. I know, I want to say it's Fat City Grill has actually opened up after hours to feed the third shift officers.
That's wonderful.
Central Baptist Church every year in May, they do a cookout for us, a steak dinner, and they'll do one for people that are working during the day, and they'll do one for the second shift, and they'll also cook at night for the third shift. So it's very heartening to know that we do have a lot of community support.
That's wonderful. So we're hoping to see, more and more of this service given back to you all because of the jobs that you perform. People don't realize how hard, emotionally and physically, that your job can be. So I must say I am grateful for the work that you do. So thank you.
And we appreciate you guys. Y'all are always working with us and trying to help us get our message out. We're going to have interactions with people in the community that maybe don't look good or aren't good.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have officers that make mistakes sometimes, and we try to be transparent and open and fix any problems that we find. But day in and day out, our officers are doing good work, and they are making a difference in this community. And it's nice to know that people see that.
Okay.
Oh, well, we got a call.
Hey.
Kaylee K.
Hey. Hello, everybody.
Hey, Miss Farrell.
All right, I didn't get in on the conversation, but I heard Sergeant Cassie.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Norm. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
All right, I've been out of contact with y'all, but I'm getting ready to get back in contact.
Well, good.
I've been babysitting.
Oh,
So my
okay.
babysitting ended last week, so
Yeah.
I'll be getting back and talking, and thank y'all for all that you do.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thanks for calling in.
And thank you for the call, Miss Farrell.
Bye-bye.
And of course, if you want to call, we only got about a minute or two left, but numbers 870-277-1080, or you can weigh in on our Facebook live feed. Let's go on the feed, see if we have any new comments or shout outs. Don't look like we do, but we do appreciate everyone who has checked in. So as we get ready to wind down, both for Sergeant Brandon and Corporal McDaniel, just any final thoughts or comments?
Well, thanks for having us. It's been a unique experience getting to learn about what Paul did. I hope that I can do half as good a job as he's done.
Oh, you will.
I'm sure you will, and I'm sure if you need Paul's help, you can call on him, and he'll be a great resource to help you. He's a great guy. We're definitely blessed and thankful to have him, and we're blessed and thankful to have you as well to continue on that legacy. And of course, to Sergeant Brandon, you mentioned how you appreciate what we do. Well, we like having this platform to let people know, not just with the police department, but all departments, all aspects of the community, all of the stakeholders know, so that people can see what everyone's doing, try to make this community a better place. So once again, any final comments, Sergeant Brandon, any final plugs for any of the events, the fire truck pull, gun buy bag, testing, anything else?
Got all that stuff coming up. The most pressing one is if you want to apply to be a police officer with us, make sure you apply by tomorrow afternoon. We do have the gun buyback coming up. Again, if you have any comments on that or any suggestions of other ways that we can help curb the gun violence, then call us and let us know.
And I think, if people will understand, you're not going to reach all, but the one you can here and there, it will eventually start making an impact. Right. And, we'll get to a good place.
That's what we're working for.
Alrighty. I want to thank you all so much for coming and sharing, and thank you for giving your time. And I'm looking forward to seeing the job you're going to be doing, Corporal Dave. And please reach out to us any way that we can help.
I appreciate that.
Spread any word and any help we can be to you all. Please let us know.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
And of course, actually, we missed Chief Elliott. Chief was unable to make it today, but I'm sure Chief will be back with us next month, first Wednesday of each month. And of course, like I've said, doesn't always have to be first Wednesday of each month. Anytime that JPD has something going on, please let us know. We would love to get the word out to the community. But you guys have a great and blessed day. This is Community Conversations, and this is KLEK 102.5 FM.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
KLEK LP, Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas.